We back. StitchPhiles.
Welcome to StitchPhiles.
Buried in America.
I never get to say that. You always say that.
I know.
You always do the intro, and I feel like I'm left out.
We've escaped captivity.
We got out, didn't we? We broke free.
Yeah. After all the shenanigans, they let us go.
I think I saw your and John's picture on
in the Charlotte Observer
in the post office. They still do that? Remember? Oh, you don't remember that?
I do remember that. I don't think they do.
When I was a kid, it was like wanted. You go to the post office. And
At Walmart, though, they'll have the missing kids up there.
Yeah.
I don't think they have wanted posters up. I don't think that's a thing.
It would be. You know what? They should bring that back. Wanted, dead or alive.
I follow the the Bon Jovi song.
No, it's like, Billy the Kid. He was wanted. Dead or alive, and they had like a $500 bounty.
I always look at the Randolph County crime alerts. I like to see who got arrested.
Anybody you know?
It has been before in the past.
Any of our kinfolk, maybe?
In the past.
Some of your kinfolk.
In the past. Yeah. There was somebody I went to high school with on there a couple weeks ago. Crystal methamphetamine. It's rough, man.
Happens to all of us at some time.
Yeah. Mine is prescribed by a physician. Okay.
I still have to buy mine on the street.
Yeah.
So
you never know what you're getting out there.
You don't know.
You might get you some fentanyl.
So what are we talking about today, Brandon?
We're going to go over the shopburiedin.com site using the frame finder and like a parts lookup, basically the ins and outs of shopburiedin.com, because believe it or not, there are people that do call in that they don't even know that exists.
Yes.
They don't even know that. Yeah, I said that right.
Yeah, I understood what you meant.
Yeah. And it's a tiny little font. We're going to do some screen. This is high tech. There's going to be some screen captures. So a full multimedia experience.
Screen captures.
Mm-hmm. Minus smell-o-vision.
That sounds deep.
Yeah. Hopefully it works.
Let's recap Fort Worth.
Yeah, talk about Fort Worth, which I didn't go to. So
you did not go. We had a great time.
I'll sit back and listen.
We had a good time in Fort Worth. Had a good steak.
I was supposed to go. Then you changed your mind.
Yeah.
Said you didn't need me.
Yeah. Probably could have used you.
You can always use
Sunday was horrible. It was terrible.
Slow?
Yeah, very slow. As slow as any show I've seen in a while. But Friday and Saturday made up for it. It was extremely busy, and I was concerned that we wouldn't have enough personnel there. But it wasn't overwhelming like it can be. There was a steady stream of customers. Everybody looking to buy is what they said.
Mm-hmm.
And we said this a couple times at shows that the clientele or the people coming to shows now, at least to our booth, they're really looking to maybe purchase something soon or the next year or so. They're looking to get it soon.
At least purchase it.
At least purchase it, put a deposit on it. But
and even we did the last podcast. That was the first day of the show. That second day of the show was, it was busy all the way up until the last probably 45 minutes in Charlotte.
You're talking about Charlotte.
Mm-hmm,
Charlotte was yes, that was probably the best Charlotte show as far as attendance goes. You've gotten sales from it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. We did it in Texas, too. I wasn't, that's always a good show, but it just, with the wait times that people are facing to get equipment, not only embroidery machines, but screen printing, too. Just about any type of machinery, hard goods. Would you call it hard goods? Yeah, soft goods would be like T-shirt or pair of underwear.
Yeah.
There's wait times, so it's not only us, it's everyone else, too. But, yeah, got to see, we had some people ask about you.
Well, I'll be dang.
Some customers ask about you. I didn't tell you that. I forgot about that.
Yeah. You usually don't tell me things that are good that happen. It's usually like what I did wrong or who's mad at me.
I haven't seen you much since I got back.
I've been very quiet as well. I've been busy. That's what I've been.
You've been very busy. But
you don't tell me, you think you tell me things and you don't. Like you tell me them in your head, but they never exit that area.
But it seems so real up here. It seems like it happened.
Yeah.
I can even play it out in my mind where I was and what you were wearing, what I was wearing, what we talked about. But sometimes probably overactive imagination, don't you think?
Yeah. Or Alzheimer's.
Kind of the same thing.
Yeah, one's just diagnosed, the other's not. Well, I'm glad people ask about me. I'm sorry I wasn't there.
No, I can't remember her name.
I've got a big...
I wouldn't mention her name anyway, but anyway, she bought one of the floor models. She and her mother came. And I don't want to mention her name because she may not want me to.
Fair enough. Well, I'm sorry I missed you.
But
most of my fan base is West Coast.
Yeah,
and,
it's very few people
I'm on the
who
East
care
Coast.
about you. Nobody
cares about me here.
Cares about
No,
you.
they really
never
don't.
ask about you.
Yeah. They're like, who are you? Like, yeah, we've talked before, remember?
But this is a first. Well, maybe not a first. Maybe a second. I had several people say that don't even own Beardens that recognized
watched the
me
podcast.
and watched the podcast and watched some of the videos that I've done. But they, and again, I'm self-conscious about this podcast because sometimes we get carried away with goofy stuff.
I don't care.
I know it doesn't bother you, but it does me. I'm looking down the straight and narrow, but there's like pretty things here and pretty
here's the
things
thing,
there.
though. The majority of the time, the reason it goes where it goes is your fault, and you're the one that's self-conscious
I can't focus. I'm like I just told you. I'm looking over here. Something catches my eye, and I go over here. You don't do a very good job reeling me back in.
I can correct that. I can put a button on here that like an explosion.
You should.
Yeah, there's several on there that I won't.
Some of you might push the wrong one. Some of them.
Yeah, I have to look at the labels.
Yeah, but yes, I was pleasantly surprised how many people came up to me and said, "Hey, we listen to you guys," and that's good. Nobody said we hate you.
They won't. Most people won't tell you that to your face.
That's true, and that's good too because I've got a tender heart.
Yeah,
I would cry. But Fort Worth was good. Last show of the year for us. I can't remember if I have one in Canada or not.
I think you do.
I think I do too.
You need a personal assistant.
I do need one. If anybody's listening out here would like
it doesn't pay well.
It doesn't pay well.
It pays in pretzels.
yeah, I will share my pretzel stash with you.
We'll work for pretzels.
Be my personal assistant. I'm going to Japan in November to a trade show. I just made my ticket.
Yeah, that's the Jim.
J-I-A-M, Jime.
Jime.
The Jime.
Yeah.
And we usually have customers there from the States that come over. But Bearden has a gigantic booth there. I mean, when you only put on one trade show a year, you can make a gigantic booth because it costs
no expenses are held back.
A lot of dinero or yen in their case, yen. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I always get to see things that you don't see here in the States. Last time I was there was before COVID in Osaka, and we had a trade show, and I got to see these big. I don't even know what they are. Big machines. Oh, like yarn dyeing machines and big dryers, and I don't know. That stuff fascinates me. I just think it's really cool.
It is cool. I like the shows, even though I don't get to go around. The things I can see from my booth, I'm like, oh, I'd like to go check that out, but I never venture over there.
I went in early on Sunday morning in Fort Worth just to go check out and see what everybody had on their booth, and I walked 2 aisles, and somebody yelled at me. I hadn't seen in a while, and we talked about 30 minutes, and I said, I got to go to the booth.
Yeah.
So
that's what happens.
I mean, I don't think there was anything there. There was nobody talking about anything there at the Fort Worth show that's like, oh, you've got to go see this. So, I mean, I see the same people, the same stuff at every show pretty much.
Yeah. Best just keep to your booth.
Yeah. So, anyway, that was good. Charlotte was good. We're done here in the States for shows. They start again January 21st to the 23rd.
That's Long Beach, right?
20th through the 22nd, Long Beach.
Okay. I don't have any of that pulled up, so I don't know.
Well, I haven't finalized the trade show yet. You and I have talked about a couple shows. We'll do Charlotte again, but Charlotte next year.
Yeah, Charlotte's April.
April, which is crazy. That show, I can't ever remember that show being in the... Maybe it has.
Yeah, then what's the place? Jersey. That is, when is that, February?
Atlantic City?
Mm-hmm.
It's always the third week in March.
March.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I knew. It was close to
that
the
third weekend is.
It's close to that Charlotte show. That's what's so strange about it.
Yeah, it is like just a few weeks away.
And it's only like 6 months away from the one that just happened, which is, again, strange.
And it's a year from when it was last year. 12 months. If you're counting.
That's not right.
Yes, it is.
How?
Jersey?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm talking about Charlotte. That Charlotte show just happened, and then they're having it again 6 months later, essentially, right?
Man, I don't like to second guess the show people. I don't know why they're having it in the spring because it really works out. I like it being the last show of the year. I do because we can drive down there. We can take our machines. It's an easy show. You and I set that thing up in an hour.
Yep.
John helped us this year. Thanks, John. John Kuhn.
He definitely did.
So
and we tore that thing. We had that thing tore down before you even got the trailer.
So what usually takes you and I an hour to set up, it took you and me and John Kuhn 2 hours to set up. Between all the insults and the jokes and the laughing but I don't know how it's going to work out. You know, let's be optimistic. It may be better in April.
It should be fine. I'm trying to think about the time everybody starts to get busy. You know, if you had machines to ship, that's probably good timing. You know what I mean? But it ain't.
That hurt. That hurts me deeply.
Hurts me too. I'm just saying, logistically speaking. It's probably a good time of year.
You know, Atlantic City's in March, and that's March is just a month that sucks because it's not spring.
It's fantastic for college basketball.
Well, I love that. Well, you know what? If it weren't for that, March would be really hard to get through.
Pushes you through. Who was the underdog? The Peacocks, St. John's. Is that right?
No, St. Andrews. No,
whoever they were. That's how quick I forgot about them.
St. Peter.
That was a big deal in Atlantic City because they're a New Jersey school and everybody was just going crazy.
Well, that'll never happen again.
No.
But I just that time of year in New Jersey, that time of year is cold. Usually windy up there. The weather's not very good. The show's usually very good. But I always mark my year that to me spring starts after when we get back from Atlantic City. To me, that's spring, even though that's not the official date.
It is for you.
Well, it is pretty close to that. It's right around the 21st, 22nd. But I dread going up there because it's just cold. Not one of my favorite places. Love the people. The show draws extremely well.
It's just kind of it's a depressing place to me for some reason.
Yeah, it used to be better. I mean, you know, a lot of casinos are closed down, but the show draws. So you know, I often think, would it draw that well if they put it somewhere else? Do people go there to gamble? Is that still a big deal?
Yeah. I mean, people that go to the show to go gamble, or you mean in general people go?
Well, they go to the show to go.
I'm
to
sure
the
they
show,
do.
but they go to the gamble.
When me and Earl,
I guess to get to see a show and maybe eat some good food.
Me and Earl and Sarah and Billy walked several of those casinos trying to find this particular restaurant, and they were packed. I mean, it was loaded down.
Yeah,
this was year before last.
That shouldn't be too hard on them. But, you know, we always do well there. I mean, we always sell machines there. Vinny's done a good job up in that territory. Get to see a lot of customers that I only get to see up there. So, and it draws good. You had quite a few customers at that show too. Yeah. So, yeah, we need a big, again, impressions. If you're listening to this, we need a Southeast show, impressions. That was supposed to happen, and it didn't. But I don't want to have it in Atlanta.
Man, come on.
It's just hard to do a show there.
Why?
Well, if they did it in Smyrna,
which that's
at the event center there, just that World Congress Center, man, it's just a pain getting in and out of there. I mean, I've done shows there for years and years and years. The Bobbin shows were there every year. It's just a tough place to get in and out of. I don't know. Well, I mean, I talked to Patrick, our sales rep at Impressions, and we're going to have him on here. Maybe the next podcast I may call him and see if he's available. But
I got some things I'd like to speak to him about.
Yeah, be nice to him. He's a good guy.
I will. I'm nice to everybody.
Yeah, but he doesn't pick where the shows are.
No, he doesn't. But he knows somebody who does.
Yeah, he probably does.
Because it was supposed to happen.
Slip him $10. Maybe he can get something done.
Yeah, it's about all I can muster up. Yeah. Anyway. Anything about Fort Worth? Anything else? Got it covered?
No, got to see some of our good customers that had Beartons. We got orders from some new customers. Saw some potential customers.
Everything you can imagine in a show.
It was good. The food there's good. Had a little Tex-Mex.
Yeah, I haven't been to Fort Worth, so I was looking forward to going, but was not heartbroken when I couldn't go.
I didn't think so because that coincides with deer season.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. I haven't even gone out that much this year.
I know.
It seems like every time I would like to go, something happens.
It's
you can't make plans.
There's something every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was going to go on a motorcycle trip with a couple of my buddies, and it's either your kid's got something going on, Kyle's kids had something going on.
My kids don't have anything going on.
They should.
They don't.
They don't.
You're making them an excuse, and they're not.
Well, I'm using other people to.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like there's something always going on.
Fall's a busy time.
It is.
But anyway, we're moving on. So we're going to go over, again, I'm going to share the screen in the video. So if you're listening, hop on over to the YouTube, check it out. And if you're not subscribed to the YouTube, it's merely a click of a button.
Mm-hmm.
It's as simple as clicking the button. And it does help.
Let's pretend this is a mouse.
It does nothing for you, but it does everything for us.
This is a mouse.
Click
See,
it.
Let's pretend. Let's play. You take the arrow on
to the red
subscribe, and you click it, and that's all you got. It doesn't cost you a nickel.
Mm-mm.
It's free to subscribe.
You could even turn on the notifications for new videos if you'd like.
Can. Exactly.
And then while I'm plugging that, I'll say subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to it as well.
I never listen to the podcast.
What do you do? Watch it?
Actually, I do.
Yeah, I was going to say. I don't listen to it or watch it.
No, I usually do it when it comes. I listen to it before it hits the national airwaves. Wherever it goes.
Coast to coast.
And when it hits that satellite.
Yeah, which we learned about last time. Things have to go to space.
So that's at the gym. It's usually an hour, a little bit more. And I'm usually on the treadmill an hour. So it passes the time away.
Yeah. I don't listen to it or watch it. I have to edit it. That's enough.
You don't go back and listen to it?
Mm-mm.
Really?
Yeah. I never
amazing.
do. I don't listen to any of the stuff we do. Or I've ever done. Well, I've done it, so I've heard it. You know what I mean? I'm here.
Okay.
Although it could be argued I was not here for the last one because I was checked out. I was sleepy. I was ready to go to bed.
Yeah, I know. That was late. I don't like, yeah. Well.
It's like you get, when it gets late, things get really funny that shouldn't be funny. You know what I mean? That's what happens. It's like a, what do you call it?
I don't know.
It's like a psychological break or something.
I don't know. When it gets 8:30, that's right around my bedtime. Honestly, I mean, I'm so tired at 8:30 that all I can think about is, man, I'm gonna go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were up till 10, which is an hour and a half past my bedtime.
Yeah, that was just doing the podcast. Yeah, I was checked out, so apologies.
Well, we worked that show all day, and it's tough. You talk to people all day.
It's mentally exhausting.
And then we went to dinner, had some good Mexican food there.
Mm-hmm.
Remember? And we were full, and so usually I'm like, man, I'd kind of like to just.
No, we went to sushi.
We went to sushi.
Complete opposite sides of the world. Yeah. We did go to Mexican the next day.
Yeah, okay, I get my days. Well, I was kind of on the right track.
Yeah, you're getting there. You're taking the long way around.
The sushi place was good. I'd been there before.
Oh, it was good. Yeah.
Very good.
Sorry. That was your wife. And my mom texted me.
Wanting what?
Just to remind me to be over there tomorrow to help with the fence.
You'll get 10 more texts from her.
Well, I need them. I forgot what it was for until you
why
said.
you don't get mad at your mom when she does it. You get mad at me when I do it.
That's the first time she texted me.
Yeah, but when I ask you repeatedly to get the mail when I'm gone,
I did.
you get mad at me.
I don't. You ask more people than what irritates me is when you ask me and then you turn around 5 minutes later and ask Jamie.
So if your mother texted Jamie to come out there when the fence people get there,
I'd be like, I told you I have it. Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the way it works.
I'll go with that.
You'll accept it?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Let's get down to
Task
business.
at hand.
Yeah. So again, I'm gonna share this screen. So if you mosey on over to Bearden.com, top right corner you have go to shop Bearden.com, which is I feel like an overlooked part of the Bearden website. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's got a ton of information on it.
Yeah.
For old machines and new machines.
Old and young.
In between.
Yeah. So you want to go to the frame finder first?
Yeah, you can. It doesn't matter.
Let's do that. So if you're looking for particular frames or to make sure it's the right size, it's going to work on your machine, there's a handy little graphic up at the top that says frame finder. So that's where we're going. And then here you have listed, got single heads, multi-heads. So let's go to the Pro 3. Click on CB3. And then it's going to list, up at the top it's going to tell you what models it includes for these frames that are listed underneath. And there's a nice little image for the majority of them. That's one thing. How can we update the pictures on these, on some of them?
Talk to Thad.
Yeah, because there are some things that don't have pictures named. But anyway, it's going to go through and list all of the frames that are applicable for that particular machine. So if you're thinking, hey, is this hoop going to work with my XL? What's a good way to find out? Agreed?
I agree.
Yeah. You got your Mighty hoops on there, Gator clamp, Multi-Pocket Pro. You've got the Hoop Tech hoops, military name clamp, sock frame at the bottom. So it's just a pretty easy little way to determine what will or will not fit your machine.
I will say, let me interject this.
Interject.
We have kept our field sizes, with the exception of the CA2 or the XL, pretty much the same. It's either 380 or 520. Mm-hmm. There are some exceptions. We made a 450 by 450 12 head there for a while. Then we went back down to a 380. But as far as the bigger machines go, even from the Pro 3 now, the only exception is going to be for the actual big bridge machines. They're going to have that real deep mm-hmm. frame. But as far as the width go, we've been pretty consistent on that for a long time. I mean, 520 has been our field size for the big machines. That's been what we call standard field size for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And then, we just started selling that 380. Well, we sold it in an 8-head, back in 2003, 2004, whenever we started making it. But, a lot of our competitors have gone to some oddball field sizes, and we've pretty much kept it the same. Now the XL2 or this, the CA2, the small machine, it was a 250 by 250 for a while. It will take a 520 width, but the depth is where it's different from all the other machines.
Yeah, we were talking about that with that slimline frame, wasn't it?
It gets tricky when somebody wants to put an accessory on the XL2.
Yeah, you have to double check.
It's not because of the width.
Yeah, it's the depth.
The width on that machine lines up with the CO1, believe it or not. But it's the depth
mm-hmm.
that gets you in trouble. So.
It'll get you in trouble. So you've got all your machines listed over on the side. They got the CB3, CA2, CB2, CO1, and then your 2s all the way through to 15 heads. So it's just a quick way, and we have people call that and ask, like, will this work on my machine? Yeah, this is a pretty good thing just to double check. And you can always call them, and it doesn't hurt. But
let me mention something too. A lot of times people will call in and they don't know what machine they have.
Yeah.
This happens a lot. Now, of course, we will help you decipher what machine you have. But if you look on the serial number plate on your machine, It will tell you the serial number, the model number, and the field size. If you can get that information when you're calling in, it'll make it go so much smoother because we won't have to go into CRM and look and see what you bought. Maybe you bought a used machine that we don't know about. It's not that wasn't you haven't registered it with us. But that
it's still in somebody else's name.
It's on every machine. Every machine.
It's over there on the left.
CO1. It's on the frame. It's riveted to the frame, and it's a black and stainless steel plate. And again, it's going to have the serial number. It's going to have the model number of the machine, and it's going to have the field size. If you have those, it will make it so much easier. Plus, it's going to help you too if you want to look on the frame finder yourself, which we highly encourage you to do it. If you have you don't necessarily need the serial number, but the model number.
Yeah,
you definitely need the model number, and you can also it'll have the field size on there too. So,
just a little tip.
That'll go a long way to make sure you get the right frame or the right part for your machine.
Let's see. Anything else you want to cover on that?
No,
it's pretty simple.
It's pretty simple, really. Again, if you know what machine you have, you go to that machine and click on it. It'll tell you the frames that'll fit that machine, and we pretty much stock everything.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like, if you do call, and I do it all the time. Well, you want to know if something's in stock, I can look it up and see if it's in stock according to the system.
The Barrett and Blue frames. Now we stock a few Mighty Hoops, not many.
Good point.
And like everyone else, they've been behind on production, so I don't. We would have to look and see if we have those in stock. We try to keep the most popular sizes in stock, like the 4.25, the 5.5.
7.25.
Yeah, we try to keep those, but we can't always.
I think as of last week there were some in stock, just because I had to look them up.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and even over on your left-hand side here, there's even Meistergram parts on here.
Yeah, the old round frames.
Yeah,
the Meistergrams. There's some old stuff. There's even some beat machines on there, I noticed. So.
Yeah, I had somebody call. That was last week about a beat machine that some parts got stolen off of.
We still have some parts for it.
These were electronic parts.
Oh,
boards.
Well, we don't have those.
Yeah,
mechanical.
It was a good luck conversation, and I pointed him in a fairly good direction. But yeah, that gets tough. All right. Okay, so let's go into looking at parts and then how to find those parts on the page. So all of the, which I'm not sure. Yeah. All right, let me go back. Over on the left-hand side, there's a little tab that says Parts Books Found Here. So this will take you back to Barrington.com, which I believe is under the support page. Then over on the left-hand side, if you were going to this direction, Parts Books is over on the left-hand side. And you've got listed in a column all the machines from a K down to a Beat, Meistergram. It'll even tell you the modeling or the model numbering system Barrington uses, which is pretty handy. This will get you to your parts book. So let's go to a K series. All right. So just for the Ks, for example, you've got your Mark 8 trimmers, your Mark 5 trimmers. So again, it's going to be important to know which trimmer system you have.
And that's where the serial number comes in.
Correct.
Comes in because that's how we know. If you tell us you have a BE KY S1508, and you give us the serial number, we'll know what the field size is, and we'll know which trimmers are on it.
Yep.
And they don't do it a lot, but Barrington does make mid-year changes in maybe a power supply, and it's all due to maybe one power supply they couldn't get.
Right.
So they'll have a different one. They're usually interchangeable, but sometimes they aren't. And I'm just throwing a power supply out there. It could be anything. Of course, your needle bar drivers and all that stuff's going to be exactly the same, but sometimes on electronic parts, or they may have made a change to one of solenoids or something in the head, use just a different part number, that your serial number will let us know, like up to this number, we'll have this part, and after that, we'll have another part. So,
Yeah,
again,
like on
it's
these
really
trimmers, it says for Mark 8s, serial numbers ending in L20 and newer.
Yeah.
Which L is your
month,
which is what month ends in L? It doesn't. You have to go through the alphabet, which is confusing.
Yeah, I have to write it out.
Yeah. And then like on the Mark 5, serial numbers ending in K20 and older. So
20 is the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last two numbers, that's on the newer machines. Now, when you go back to 1998, 99, 2000, your first two numbers are the year.
Mm-hmm.
They changed it right around there, so it gets kind of confusing.
Yeah.
But they changed it. Excuse me.
Yeah, because on some of those older machines, usually I can look at it and be like, okay, this is a 20, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think it was a week before last, I had a customer call, and he had 2 6 heads, and he got his 6 heads right about the time they switched to the Mark 8s. So he'd ordered a 6, it came in, then he had ordered another 6 shortly after that. So one of them had Mark 5s and one had Mark 8s. And I think I was trying to get him some parts, and I had to get with Earl. I was like, hey, this is like pretty close to when it was changed.
Yeah.
And like he really had to do some digging to figure out what exactly machines he had.
Where it's transitioned.
Yeah.
You got to make sure, because even though L would be, that machine was built in December of 20.
Is that where L falls?
Yeah, I had to write it out.
I was trying to do it under the table with my fingers, how I did my math homework.
Yeah, the 12th letter in the alphabet is L.
Mm-hmm.
So, was it in early December or late December?
Right.
And with Japan, Cleveland keeps records. I wouldn't have that record, nor would you. That's something that tech services would have. And it gets kind of tricky when it's like, well, it changed in 2020. Okay, what month did it change?
This is one of those instances, like they were same machine minus the trimmers and the cylinder arm.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's going to get really ugly.
I can't wait to hear this.
Is like now when a machine was built in March and doesn't get delivered until December.
Mm-hmm.
But the serial number is going to be a March machine just because it took it 6 months to get over here.
Yeah. Well, I could see that being. Well, so in 20, so when those trimmers came out, that was pandemic time, right?
Yeah, but things weren't.
It wasn't like it is now, but
well, if it was built in December of 20, it was probably delivered then no later than probably April.
Yeah,
maybe.
March, April.
Because things didn't start getting bad until later that year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yes, if they make some sort of change between now and whenever,
Mm-hmm.
and this shipping crap is still going on, it could be a mess.
Well, I mean, it's not going to be a mess.
It's not. You have to be. It's just narrow it down to when the machine actually was built.
It's obvious we want to make the right call when we're sending you a part and make sure it's the right one. But, yeah, that's when Earl or somebody in tech support has to dig and find out, okay, when exactly was this machine? I mean, just because it was done in, let's say, December, was it done on December 15th or 18th, or when was it,
Yeah.
Japan has a record that they can tell you, too. So, and I know, I think there's times you've had to go to Japan to see, okay, when did you guys make this? What day? Friday.
Thursday. Yeah.
Friday
that's odd that
1 p.m.
that came up. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago, I think it was. I was like, oh man, this could be puzzling. Anyway, back to the parts. If you click on, we'll just click on this, for example, the Mark 8 trimmers. So it's going to give you a PDF. This has to go to space, so it's going to load. Plus, this Mac is extremely old. Give it some time. Anyway, it's going to give you, it's not going to give me, but it'll give you the PDF breakdown of all the parts.
It gives you an exploded view
Yep.
of all that stuff.
Yeah, you'll have the list number. All right, here's a Yeah, throat plate set screw. Let's see, throat plate cover, and it's going to give you your part number over to your left. That's how you can look up your parts. All right, then in your when you go to actually look for your parts, you can look it up by alphabetical listing, which is where it helps to know that particular part number, or you can search the part number in the search box, and that'll pull it up as well. So if you have just for instance, like let's just say, all right, so if you just type in needle bar in the search, it's going to give you a huge list of an overwhelming number of things. So that's why it's important. If you go into that part book, you can narrow it down by your machine, down to, the exact part that you need. So it kind of gets rid of this step here, and you can actually just type in that part number in the search bar, and it'll pull up that identical part, as opposed to just searching by a keyword, because you're going to get a million different items that come up that probably are not going to work.
Yeah, it's overwhelming when you.
But there's a lot of parts in that machine, so this goes back for decades. So there's a part number for everything. So being able to go into that part book and find the specific item that you need, using that in the search bar is, I guess, the best way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yep. Yeah, and it's always better to get the part number. And again, it's back to having your serial number, model number.
Yep.
And going into that parts manual, the online parts manual, and it gives you an exploded view. It gives you a list of every part and part number that's on that page. And if you have those parts, and you could always take that part number and call tech support and just to verify, hey, yeah, that's the right part. Because they're looking at the same thing you are.
Yeah.
But it shows you every part on that machine. Every single part. Yep. Every nut, every bolt.
Yeah, and you might have to scroll down. It's an extensive list of stuff, so you may have to scroll down and find exactly, just because it's not listed on, say, where the sewing head is, it's probably further down where that's actually broken apart. So, yeah, it's a long list of stuff. Yeah, and your single heads are listed differently than the K-Series. The K-Series multi-head has their own section over on the menu.
Yeah.
Yeah, all your if you look on the hoops and framing tab on shopbearden.com, you've got all the specialty hoops on there as well. Yeah, like it'll tell you, like just for instance on the Gator clamp, won't work with the N-Series machines. I thought it did a pretty good job of explaining what machines it will and will not fit on. If you don't use the frame finder, if you're just looking for a hoop, there's some detailed information in there about what machines it will and will not fit. So,
well, like on the CA2 or the XL, you're only going to get about 4.5 inches of sewing field on the Gator clamp.
Yep.
We're on the.
Yeah, it tells you here sewing area is 4.7 front to rear.
4.7.
So, yeah.
Okay, sue me. I missed it by.
No, I was backing you up.
Oh.
I was saying that it's got information on there, like if you use this on this machine, you're cutting your sewing field down, etc. Right. So, anyway, that's a quick little rundown of the Shop Bearden page.
I would like to see people use it more. It saves time, not only for you, the customer, but when you're ordering parts. Not that we don't mind looking them up for you. We will. We all do here. I do. Brandon does. And they will in Cleveland too. But if it's to let you know you can also do this yourself.
Yeah. And it takes a step out of it. You don't have to call us. You'll like I know the part number, just call and order or order it online. That's another thing too. If you create your account on here, you can pay your bill on there. You can order stuff on there. I think Ellen even told me you can do your deposit for your machine on there.
You can sometimes, and some people do, and that's fine. But sometimes we'll get a deposit. We don't know what it's attached to.
Yeah. I didn't even know that was an option. I did know you could go in there and pay your bill and stuff, but
well, I'd rather than do it on QuoteWorks.
Me too.
Quote Valet.
Yeah.
That way, there's no confusion.
It's attached to a quote and not just a random deposit amount that has nothing. I don't even know what it looks like on the back end. Might just be a number and.
Oh, when she gets it,
a dollar amount.
I get them. I get stuff that comes in on tap my phone there. It's a little program that shows you what card it was paid with, the dollar amount, and I think the customer, the CO number. So we can kind of figure out where it is, what it is. If it's a machine deposit, it's not impossible. It's just, sometimes Ellen's like calling you guys saying, okay, who's this belong to? We don't know.
You can also make a wish list. Christmas is right around the corner.
It is.
So you can drag, go ahead and get all Mighty Hoops for your machine and drag them over to your wish list and sit on Santa's lap. Tell him.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want a nice set of Mighty Hoops for Christmas?
I would. I know several people.
Yeah. Or maybe some new needles, hook assembly.
You name it.
Yeah.
I'm just nerding out on this right now. Yeah, it's just we thought it'd be a good idea just to kind of go over. Actually, it was Thad's idea to go over.
Yeah.
And I think it is a good thing because, like I said, some people don't even see that. Go to shopbearden.com in the top right corner. And
should we make that bigger?
Might be helpful.
With an explanation.
Or a graphic, like a highlight it, you know what I mean?
Put a big arrow.
Yeah. Click here.
Click here.
Yeah, I think it's good. I go on there all the time.
Well, I mean, I use it, and I know that our tech support uses it too. I mean, it's just nice to go on there, and if you're trying to help a customer, I'll go on there and
yeah, I do it probably a couple times
as long
a week.
as they know what machine they have.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Now, if it's something like a hook assembly or just a generic part, you don't necessarily have to do it, but because pretty much all the sewing hooks are the same, but unless it's a Meistergram, which has a great big giant one. But you shouldn't be buying that anyway.
So he says. Yeah, anyway, hope that was helpful. And if it wasn't, let us know. Or if it was, let us know.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it's good to go over some of that stuff sometimes. And like I said, it takes one step out of having to call us and maybe I don't have the serial number. Now you got to go back and look at that and call us back. So maybe just expedite the process for getting the parts and stuff that you need. And
it's a good idea, too, to maybe, after you listen to this podcast, maybe go find that little plate on your machine. Some of the older machines, it's on the back.
The back of them, yep.
On some of them, it's on the on the multi-heads, it's on the very, very bottom, that support brace. I don't know why they moved it around different places, but you can definitely find it. It's on there. It's riveted on there.
Oh, so here's your challenge.
You could take a picture, and if you got a bunch of take a picture of your ID plate on your machine.
Yeah, I have people text them to me. I'm like, just snap a picture of it and send it to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you get done with this podcast, go look up the badge on the machine. Leave it in the comments. Just kidding. All right. Yeah. I'm making sure, I'm getting distracted because I feel like this is recording, but I don't know how to stop it.
You don't know how to stop it from recording?
Mm-hmm.
Turn your computer off.
Is it going to save it?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
You're the engineer.
Let's try this.
You're driving this train. Casey Jones.
Okay, I think I did it.
You think you did it? I bet you did.
I don't know how to stop it. There's nothing.
Are you using
I got it.
a program?
I saved it.
Is it a program or just recording the screen?
No, it just records the screen. It saves it to the desktop.
Well, good luck matching all this up.
Oh, it'll be easy. I'm just going to drop it, intersperse it in with the conversation.
Oh, okay.
I was getting a little worried because I couldn't go to the top part of my screen. Yeah, it did. It saved it right there. Bam. Yep. Okay. Sorry.
You feel good about things?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I was freaking out a little bit. Not that I couldn't do this after the fact, but
Eh,
that would have been a little harder.
yeah.
Anyway, I think that was pretty good. Hope it was helpful.
Yes.
You got it?
I got it.
Okay.
I forget about it. I mean, I use it. I forget to tell customers about it, and I ought to be more vocal about it.
I do it all the time, I have
because
to say.
it's an excellent resource
Mm-hmm.
for parts and there's some frequently asked questions on there. There's
and even on the Bairden page, you know, you got your maintenance stuff on there. What you should expect when your single head's getting there, the multi head's getting there.
links to our videos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the video library.
There's none to the podcast though.
No. We're a separate entity.
Are we?
Yeah. I don't.
Do we even work for Bairden?
I wonder sometimes. Yeah. I haven't got a paycheck since I've been working here.
I told you it's volunteer work.
Yeah. Well, anyway. Yeah, we're good. All right. Okay. So yeah, we might have, what's the fellow's name?
I can't think of Patrick's last name.
Okay, Patrick.
Is it Sullivan?
Patrick Stewart?
Let's call him Patrick Sullivan.
Patrick Stewart.
That's probably his name.
Isn't that the guy from Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Trek? Yeah, that's, what's his name?
Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah, Captain Picard.
Yeah, maybe he'll be on next time. If not, we'll have something for you anyway.
Absolutely. I got to work it around my travel.
Yeah, it's busy. I got some places I got to go.
To the woods?
No.
To see a four-legged animal with horns?
No.
Not horns, antlers.
I have some visits to make to some folks.
Yes. I'm headed out in the morning.
Yeah, which we got to load up. We'll be down a machine next podcast, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But she'll be replaced.
You better believe it.
Physically, but in our hearts, there's no replacing.
Yeah, we always take a picture when they leave here and post it on the wall. We'll have to show them the wall with all the pictures. We don't really do that.
I was like, where's this wall at? No. All righty. Well, we'll get out of here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. If you have not, please subscribe. Make sure you share it.
And check out the shopbairden.com. Just go in there and look at it. Just check it out and see what you think.
Yeah, browse around in all your free time, which I know most people don't have.
Everybody's got all kinds of time.
Yep.
Well, I do.
All right. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Thanks
again.
Adios.
Adios.